Perfect.
All right, everybody, what's going on? And welcome to today's edition of SWAC Talk. Of course, this show, we cover the SWAC inside and out, and I'm your tour guide around the SWAC. C. Wells coming at you. And as you can see on the title, today we're going to talk about Alcorn in 2023. Again, these are not my previews. These are just thoughts that I have that I wanted to put on wax until we get to our team previews, which are coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm going to have the list of the 12 team previews and the dates that they'll be dropping on my socials, so y'all can check that out and know when your favorite team is coming up and when other teams are coming up. So definitely make sure y'all check that out. Check the socials out: Facebook and SWAC Talk, Instagram SWAC Talk, Twitter SWAC Talk 76. Again, thank you very much, man. Y'all helped us reach the YouTube partner program, so we are now able to make some things happen for the channel. So thank you very much. We still want to get to that 1K, so hit that subscribe button. That's just a goal that I have, so hit that button, please. If you have, then thank you very much. As you can see if you go to the main portion of the channel page, there's a join link. You can join and become a member of the channel. There's different perks that you can check out, so make sure y'all check that out at your leisure. And like I said, hit that subscription button, hit that notification bell, like the videos and share them, and feel free to comment on what you think about Alcorn. So let's talk Braves football, man. Alcorn, since like 2014 to basically 2019, Alcorn was either winning or in the SWAC championship game. So that's under Jay Hobson and Fred McNair. The last 4 years of that streak were under Fred McNair, 2-2 in SWAC championship games in that time period. But that, to me, was a formula for Alcorn football to get to that point. And that's strong running and great run defense. If you look at 2018, the team ran for 215 yards per game, 5.4 yards per carry. Defensively, the opponents, they ran for 161 yards per game, 4.3 yards per carry. In 2017, excuse me, that was 2016. In 2017, when they won the East again, they ran for 237 per game and 6.4 yards per carry. Opponents ran the ball for 131 yards per game and 4 yards per carry. Then in 2018, which was a championship year for them, they ran the ball for 285 yards per game. That was a very, very run-heavy team. Average 6.2 yards per carry. The opponents ran the ball for 89 yards. So this was one of the top defenses in terms of shutting down the run game in the country. And a paltry 2.6 yards per carry for opponents. 2019, the team kind of took a different turn. They were more of a pass-heavy team. They threw the ball for 251 yards per game, ran for 155. Opponents ran for 143. So the numbers went up a little, but not enough to keep them from winning a championship. So to me, it's simple. The Alcorn formula is strong running, timely passing, and strong run defense, which means you have to be physical on both lines of scrimmage. And I think Alcorn is there. There's a reason why I feel like Alcorn should be number one going into the fall. I mean, there's no secret that I've already said that my pick to win the West Division. So they last season were not that far off of their formula. If you look at what they did last season, they ran for 175 yards per game, 4.1 yards per carry. Opponents ran for 131 yards per game, 3.4 yards per carry. So, those numbers are not that far off on either side from being in that formula range. Last season, I think the team was moving pretty well. They had a stretch in the middle of the season where they lost 3 games in a row, and that kind of threw them off. Injury to quarterback kind of hurt them and set them back. But they have the best running back in the conference in Jarvion Howard, Agent Zero. So to me, if you can, you can get him to replicate what he did last season, which was 250 carries, 1,275 yards, and 12 touchdowns. If he could run anywhere near that, if he can, run for 1,400 yards, then you're gonna find yourself with a very, very good run offense. If you can top that 200-yard mark, then that puts you even closer to that Alcorn formula. And I think it can be done. Like I said, last season, this team was playing fairly well. They started off 0-2. They won 3 games in a row, so they were 3-2, and then they lost 3 games, and then they won 2 games, and then they lost 1 to close out the season. So they were in the mix. Like I said, they were 3-0. They were 2-0 in conference before they hit that midseason stretch where they lost those 3 games. But the margin got worse as the streak went on. So the Prairie View game was kind of a rebound, but the team just didn't have what it needed to fully get themselves back right. So with a solid quarterback play, you're definitely looking at a guy like Tyler Macon, who everybody's high on. You got Jarvion Howard at running back. You got Nico Duffy also there. You also have Leatherwood coming back. So there's a lot of guys that can run that ball for Alcorn. And one name that I would love to see get more reps get more targets is Tavarius Griffin, the tight end. He last 2 years he's had like 15 catches and 3 touchdowns. And to me, with an offense like that, that runs the ball, you need that guy that can work in the middle of the field and can make some things happen for you, create some mismatches, and make you have to pay attention to that when they decide to throw the ball. Montario Hunt is definitely going to be a key guy. He was one of my top 5 SWAC wide receivers. I expect his numbers to be better than last season, which were not, they would for limited targets. He averaged over 21 yards per catch. So he's definitely a guy who's a deep threat. He can stretch the field, and also they're looking to get Nico Duffy more involved in the passing game. So that's another versatile guy that you can put him in the slot. You can spread him out wide, and he can make some things happen for you. But like I said, it all comes down to that running game on offense. If they can continue to run the ball like they've done, and if they can, let's say, top 2,000 yards net rushing, I think you find yourself in a very, very good position to win ball games. And defensively, they're still very solid. Like I said, this was a very, very stingy defense last season. Was really, really good at pressuring the quarterback. And that's something that when you look at those older Alcorn teams from that streak, they were very good at pressuring the quarterback. This team finished with 35 sacks on the 31 sacks on the season, including 10 against McNeese. So they can get it done, and they added some more pieces to that defense that can help make this even more a solid unit. So I don't really see a lot needs to be changed with this team. I think this team last season was really close to being on that formula, and I think this season they can be there. The schedule shapes up, pretty good for them. They have their 3 non-conference games to start the season. Then they jump directly in the fire with Prairie View to open up SWAC play. At home, you get Bama State on the road, followed by Grambling at home, at Pine Bluff, Valley at home, Southern at home, Texas Southern on the road, and obviously you close out at Jackson. So they draw pretty decently from the east, but the West is going to be a battle. I feel like 5 out of 6 have a chance to win. So every West game is going to be important, and you get 3 of those 4 teams that are your contenders. You get 3 of those 4 at home, and that's a really good recipe for winning this division. Everything shapes up probably better than almost any other divisional opponent. Everything shapes up for you. I mean, you're returning a very, 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 very good weapon on the ground. You also still have other guys who can pick up big yardage for you on the ground. You're returning an explosive wide receiver. You have a tight end who can break out. I should have picked him as one of my breakout guys. Defensively, you're still tough. You've gotten tougher on the line of scrimmage. You're still gonna be able to make plays. You're still gonna be able to stop people. I feel like you were there last season. Untimely injury threw this team off the schedule. Although you lost a couple of those games before injury, but injury kind of slowed this team down. Turnovers kind of hurt you in the streak. Those kind of things can be corrected, and I think this team is in a grab bag type of division right now. I think they got as much claim to the top right now as any other team. The one thing is obviously they're gonna have to score more. Last season they averaged 20 points a game, so you're definitely gonna have to boost that. Even if it's up to like 27, you still find yourself in a good spot. There's a lot to be excited about if you're Alcorn. And we'll go more in depth when we get to our Alcorn preview coming up in a few weeks. But right now, this team is there. I think I don't think it's some kind of crazy stretch to imagine them playing in the SWAC championship game. Like I said, you get some really good games at home. They're gonna be tough, but you get those teams at home, which always kind of gives you a little bit of an extra boost. Not saying that teams are unbeatable at home, but it's always a little bit of an extra boost to kind of get yourself over the hill at home. But it's right there for you. And like I said, I think this team fits that Alcorn formula. A couple of tweaks here and there, numbers change here and there, and you can find yourself with a division championship. So I think, like I said, that's why I feel like this team is gonna be the West Division representative, at least going into the season, because I think this team checks the boxes like they did in those championship years. Now, all those teams weren't great teams, but they did things well, and those things they did well, they did them really well. And the ability to run the football in the SWAC is huge. I think a lot of teams like to air it out, but there's teams who can really run the ball. I mean, you have 4 teams run the ball for over 175 yards per game last season, including 2 over 200. Grounding wasn't that far away at 167. So you had a lot of teams who can very, very, who can run the ball very, very well. And those teams all had pretty solid records. And if you look at the West Division, the West runs the football. Prairie View was number 1 in rushing. Southern was number 2. Texas Southern was 3. Alcorn was 4. Grambling was 5. So 5 out of your 6 West Division teams were in the top 5 in rushing. So you have to run the ball in that division. The passing game was a different story. Most of the West Division teams were lower in passing. Southern, ironically, was 5th in passing offense, which was the highest ranked West Division team in passing offense. Alcorn, Pine Bluff was 7, Alcorn was 8, Texas Southern was 9, Prairie View was 10, and Grambling was 11, excuse me. So you need to be able to run the football in the West, and Alcorn can run the ball. They have the best individual guy, and they also have great depth. They have a really good running back room, and you have a quarterback who's going to be able to make some things happen as well. So this team checks the boxes. And that's why I think that this team is as close as they're going to be to that Alcorn championship formula. I think they're there. So that's why they're my pick going into the 2023 season. So that's going to do it for today's show. Again, I'm your tour guide around the SWAC, C. Wells, coming at you. And we're going to be back tomorrow with another edition of SWAC Talk. Tomorrow we're going to talk FAMU Rattlers, man. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. Also, hit that join button to become a member of the channel. And rock with us. So make sure you subscribe as well. We're still trying to get to that 1K. But I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all on the rebound. Peace.